What it do, flight crew? FTC. Flight team stand up. It's July. What a time to be alive. We got... Boom! Try not to get scared. Switch it up this time. You thought I was going to say boo in the beginning. Got your ass. Alright, as usual, man, I'm not responsible for your jump scares at night. Most of you guys should be out of school unless you're in summer school. Alright, so, I think, maybe a little bit of scream here or there won't, get you a whooping. Hope not. Check it out!
The earth has swallowed many secrets.
By the man Dylan is chilling!
It may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, but eventually
10 scariest things found buried underground. Now, have you guys, first of all, ever dug something up? Found something creepy? I'm trying to remember. Like, actually dig something up and then find something, I say, like, creepy? No, not really to me. What about y'all? Comment down below.
almost everything comes to the surface, and when it does, all that's left to do is accidentally stumble upon it. Number 10. A construction crew is demolishing a parking lot in Philadelphia when they make a historic and horrifying find. The crew was supposed to be building new apartments, but the project quickly switches to an excavation operation as heavy cranes lift casket after casket out of the ground. These caskets are over 300 years old and contain actual human remains. An old church and cemetery used to be here in the 1700s, and all of the caskets were supposed to have been relocated to a different cemetery sometime in the 1860s. Whoever was in charge of the operation lied and said they moved the bodies when they did not, probably to cut costs. This means for hundreds of years, people have been walking over top these unmarked caskets without knowing it.
Wow, that's
creepy.
creepy.
This happened somewhere around 2nd and Arch Street in Old City, so let me know if you may have passed over them.
Anybody in Philadelphia know anything about this?
A YouTuber named Metal Detecting 24 is in the woods doing exactly what his screen name says. When his equipment starts beeping over some planks of wood, he curiously lifts the wooden covering and finds a small metal trash can buried a couple of feet underground.
Really?
The only thing left to do now is open the lid and see what anyone could have possibly left for him out in the middle of nowhere. He removes the trash can from the hole and braces himself for the worst. Inside is the head of a female mannequin with a blade taped to the right side of her face, and the interior of the
that wasn't as bad.
covered with red paint in what appears to be a morbid simulation
of
a
fuck?
heinous act. Why anyone would want to create this? Let alone
we're
leave it in
good.
the forest
False
for
alarm.
others to find.
I thought it had like
It's
teeth and
beyond
like
me.
possessed eyes and
Hopefully
shit.
this is just
That's
creative
creepy as
artistic
fuck. What's the
expression
trip with
and
this
not
here?
the inner workings of a deranged psychopath lurking around.
What's screwed there?
in
But
the
like, first of
woods.
all, I'm more scared at the person who put that there. Like, you went in the woods and buried that there. Like, what's going on inside your head, bro? Like, you gotta stay far
Either
away.
way, Metal Detecting 24 is understandably
What
creeped
the
out
hell?
at this point. He documents the
It's
event
just
for a
creepy to
bit
think somebody
longer,
thinks of
and
something
quickly
like that,
leaves
bro.
the area before its maker gets a chance to come back. Number 8. A construction crew is busy building a new road in Dorset, England, when they come across a patch of ordinary-looking land
does this say,
housing an
News?
ancient secret. This seemingly nondescript area happens to be the final resting site of no less than 51 unidentified bodies. To be more specific, one pile was nothing but the bodies, and another pile was all
What
of
the
their
hell?
glistening heads neatly arranged in rows.
Bro, that's creepy.
Scientists were eventually able to determine through DNA testing that these were the remains of Scandinavian Vikings who were captured in battle and had their heads removed. Scientists were able to identify their country of origin by examining traces of microscopic food particles left within their teeth.
What
On the day
the
of their
hell?
discovery, however, all that the construction workers knew was that they had found dozens of bodies with no heads. I can only imagine what was going through their minds as they tried to make
That
sense
is
of the grisly
crazy.
scene. Number 7.
But y'all see the thing at the end of the
YouTuber
news or
Craig
the beginning of the
Wilson
news?
was
What
doing
did it
some
say?
home repairs when he noticed a small hole in his backyard.
Oh,
He
boy.
opened it up a little more and was shocked at what he found waiting down below.
Who's waiting down below, bro?
This hole goes down, 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 to a giant cavern.
What the
It's a
heck?
gigantic earthen cavern extending a full 16 feet straight down. Craig wonders out loud if this was natural or man-made as he continues to videotape from a dizzying height. Craig quickly had the hole filled the next day, but he'll never forget about the huge underground threat that was once threatening his home. He and his wife think that it was probably a well about 60 or 70 years ago, but they aren't positive.
That's
I'm just
crazy.
relieved that the
They got
hole
hella
didn't
shit down
widen
there, man.
while he was standing over the edge. Number 6.
Are you sure you got the
A
cover?
YouTuber named Michael Delaney is flying his drone when he comes across a wild animal in the brush.
A wild animal.
He
It's a
follows
snake.
its path and soon finds himself hovering above a den of rattlesnakes.
Whoa! Holy shit!
Michael is casually observing
Whew.
the natural habitat. When
What do
suddenly
rattlesnakes
one of
do,
them
though? They're
feels
not poisonous, right?
threatening
They
enough
just-
to react.
They just made that noise. You dropped
The
the
drone
camera.
is fine, but the snake managed to dislodge the camera. Now the situation gets a whole lot more real, as Michael realizes he will have to somehow reach into an underground pit of snakes if he wants to see his GoPro again. Thinking fast, he wisely chooses to go in with a hockey stick instead of his bare hands. He balances the GoPro on the end of the stick and pulls it to safety. Keep in mind that he's standing in tall grass and could have easily been bit by a stray rattler. Let
Rattlesnakes
me
are
know if you
poison-
think you're brave enough to do the same thing, or if you would have just left your camera with the reptiles.
With the
Number 5.
reptiles.
When a YouTuber named Aqua Chigger stumbles across a fallen tree, something compels him to take a look inside. He immediately spots an unusual fragment in the freshly upturned earth.
Weird. What do you think?
This prompts him to look inside of the hole. He doesn't see anything else at first, but then
Ooh, what's that? Stuff might just have gotten real, guys.
Aqua Chigger?
it's a piece of green fabric that Aqua Chigger hopes is just a tent. When he finds buttons, however, he knows that this is somebody's blouse. He finds some more remains and
Ugh.
turns them over and over again, trying to determine
Ugh,
if they
it's
are
blood.
human or not.
Why do you have
He
no
knows
gloves
that they
on?
are right by the highway, and even says that police found a different body in a creek not too far from here. He eventually finds the jaw of a deer and some other scattered animal remains, so he decides not to call the police, even if this was just animal remains.
Where's his gloves? Even
It
if you
still
wash your
doesn't
hands,
explain
you
the
still
fabric
have that
he
on you,
found,
bro. You're
nor
disgusting.
does it explain how a couple
This is
of
how
other
Roro
bones
starts, bro.
look like
That
they
dude has
possibly
Roro
could have
28 right
belonged
now,
to a
but-
human. Let me know what you think this was, and if you think he came across something that should have been reported. Number 4.
Yeah, it's definitely a body somewhere
YouTuber
that
named
they-
Charles M is checking out an old house for
Ugh.
sale in Las Vegas that was supposedly owned by the mafia. At one point during the tour, he comes across a fake wall in the kitchen and follows an old set of stairs down to a secret basement. The basement extends for a long time further and further underground, eventually opening up into a long white room that's completely bare, except for cabinets lining the far wall. Connected to this room are 2 other smaller rooms about the size of a closet.
Damn.
They each give him a bad feeling. The 2 smaller rooms are dark and soundproof. Strangest of all, the doors only have knobs on
It's
the
probably a
outside.
studio room they
I don't
had.
know why the mob would have needed a soundproof room
Studio.
that nobody could escape from, and I don't want to know. That's all he finds. Hidden inside the ventilation shaft of one of the rooms is what appears to be a single spent bullet casing. Number 3.
Crazy.
A YouTuber named Mr. Technical Difficult and his friends are hanging out by a river when they see an old abandoned cooler on the other side. They don't pay much attention to it at first, but after a while they grow curious as to what could possibly be inside. Finally, they can't take the suspense anymore and decide to retrieve the floating container. What they find inside is troubling.
Open the hatch.
Why is there tape around it? Holy shit. You're gonna find something out there. What was it?
They're moving.
Oh! Shit!
To see a black-eyed doll peering back at them.
What the
The
hell?
doll is dressed in
What
red
scroll thread put that?
suspenders,
What
and
hazardous
his head is
nation
turned
put that in
directly
there?
towards the camera. No one knows what to do.
Bro,
It's a
what
sudden
the
discovery,
hell?
And they all stand around for a bit, laughing nervously. To this day, the group has absolutely no explanation as to how or why
Somebody
this
trolled
doll
them.
was sealed and sent down the river, or more importantly, who is responsible for this strange message. Number 2.
Number 2.
Members of the YouTube channel TFIL is on a guided tour of some Egyptian ruins when they decide to sneak away and do some exploring of their own. They ditch the tour guide and split up into separate groups to cover more ground. At one point, TFIL makes a strange discovery in a random pile of nearby rubble, which he quickly shows the rest of his group as soon as they meet up again. They assume it's a piece of someone's backbone, but they can't tell if it belongs to a person or an animal.
Anybody else want to hold a skull?
People do like to see
Seriously?
but it's not allowed.
Whoa.
No send this on internet, this one, please.
Huh?
You don't send this from
It's hard to tell if this is an original discovery made by TFIL, or if an archaeologist previously dug this item up, cleaned it, and left it in a pile for later, or because it wasn't an important discovery. Eventually, their tour group finds human remains, which the group silently observes and reluctantly passes around. Who knows what else they would have unearthed that day, just with a little more digging. Before we get to number 1,
Number 1.
my name is Chills, and I hope you're enjoying my
What's up,
narration.
Chills?
If you're curious about what I look like in real life, then go to my Instagram at DylanIsChillinYT and tap that follow button to find out.
Dylan
I'm
is
currently
chillin'.
doing a super poll on my Instagram. If you believe ghosts are real, then go to my most recent photo and tap the like button. If you don't, DM me saying why. When you're done, come right back to this video to find out the number 1 entry. Also, follow me on Twitter at YT_chills because that's where I post video updates. It's a proven fact that generosity makes you a happier person. So if you're generous enough to hit that subscribe button and the bell beside it, then thank you. This way you'll be notified of the new video I upload every Thursday. Number 1.
Number
On
1.
Christmas morning, construction workers in Augsburg, Germany were stunned to unearth a giant device dating all the way back to World War II. The live charge weighed 1.8 tons and could have easily gone off just from making contact with their heavy digging equipment. Police immediately evacuated over 54,000 people from the city, while a squad transported the war artifact far away and detonated it. If it had gone off, experts predicted the blast radius would have covered nearly 1 full mile in all directions. You may
Ladies and
just
gentlemen, coming over to the